Swimmers, take your mark.
Hello, everybody. I'm Joe Auer, host of On Deck with Florida Swim Network. I have my buddy over here, David Van Buskirk, and Eric Nelson. Coach Eric Nelson is back with us for another episode. Welcome back, man.
Thank you. It's always great to be here, and I'm your buddy too, right?
You are my buddy.
Good.
You know, I'm completely excited. Guess what, Joe? We are now officially have started having high school swim meets. We are in the season.
We're right in the thick of it in September. So, being a coach, what happens in September for some of your elite athletes versus some of your beginners? What's the big difference there in September?
Well, the elite athletes, you know what they can do, and you're thinking about the end of their season already, and you kind of are thinking, well, let's see, get them in maybe some events that they don't always swim or what they're not going to compete at the end of the season. The beginner ones, you don't know what they can do. You see them in practice, and you think you might know, and then it's different when you put them up in a race, and so you want to see them do something and see where they're going to shine.
So, Eric, right now we're here early September. We know we're going to get everything underway with districts and regionals and states. That's coming up in October, November. Your elites, what are you doing differently, changing-wise, to saying, hey, look, here's where I need to know. Are you pushing them a little harder right now, or are you giving the new kids coming into the sport, giving them a little bit more of a conditioning? Let's work about this over a long period of time.
Your elites, it's all about the training. You got to be taking them to new heights in the training. The meets that you go to now are nice, but if they're not doing well, it's probably because you're doing a great job of training them, and it's going to pay off eventually. The kids that are a little bit newer to it, they tend to see some pretty steady increases.
Okay.
They're always getting better. You hope they're always getting better. If they're working at it, the chances are they're improving every day.
So how in the world did you get to Florida? Kind of give us the 45-second to minute overview of Eric Nelson in Florida.
Well, I'm from Wichita, Kansas, and I was the head coach of Wichita Swim Club.
By the way. There's no trees. There's no trees at all in.
Not too many.
Okay.
Wonderful people. And
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
Continue.
but I was head coach of Wichita Swim Club for about 11 years.
Had an Olympian?
Had an Olympian. Caroline Bruce made the 2004 Olympic team, the 200
That is
breaststroke.
so cool.
Yeah. She was ninth at the Olympic Games in Athens.
Wow.
Life brought me down here, like a lot of people, and I started working at Lake Highland and Highlander Aquatics with Mike Curley in 2008, and I'm kind of a Florida guy now.
So let me stop you there. Talk about the differences in training from Kansas to Florida.
Indoor, outdoor, maybe.
Indoor, outdoor, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's good for your lungs to be outdoors. It's bad for your skin. You got to apply the sunscreen. Swimming is swimming. And there's some great programs up there. There are great programs down here. What's really different about being down here is your peers, your neighbors, Joe and Charlie and Clay Parnell we talked with earlier, they're all around. You have a lot of good teams in the same town rather than your peers being, 3 hours away.
And it's very tight-knit. I mean, you can go 5 minutes away, have lunch with another coach.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of the cool thing about it.
It's awesome. And I, every good coach will tell you, a rising tide lifts all boats. And if we're working together, we're going to make the kids better.
So you get a brand new kid. What is a tip for a brand new kid? If you gave him one tip, what would it be?
Listen to your coach. Follow the instructions. That sounds like a swim coach, doesn't it?
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. Well, guess what? We're going to Kaitlyn Frehling.
Now, what is she going to be telling us about?
Kaitlyn Frehling is going to take us through the official recruiting trips and also talk about the awesome fifth stroke, the dolphin kick.
Road trip.
Hey guys, Kaitlyn Frehling here to talk to you about what to expect on your official recruiting trips. So, you've gone on your unofficial visits and you've narrowed it down to your top 5 choices. Now is the fun part. You get to live the life of a college student for 2 days. Yay! When you're on the campus, you want to take a lot of things into consideration. The first one is the team. These are going to be your teammates for the next 4 years. You want to make sure you get along with them, you have fun with them, and you bounce off them. You want to make sure that you guys work well together. The second thing is the facilities, as we've talked about previously. You want to make sure that you're comfortable in your environment that you're in. And the third thing is the academics. Does the school that you're going into provide the program that you're going to eventually be moving into and getting your degree in? And then also, you just want to see what a day in the life of a college student is like. You're going to be taken to the dining hall. You're going to be taken to some restaurants around the school. You want to make sure that walking around the campus, it seems comfortable for you and a good fit for you. The most important thing to remember is that this is your life. This is the life that you are going to be living for the next 4 or maybe even 5 years, depending upon if you redshirt or not. It's your decision to make, and it is so important that you take into consideration everything that you feel is right for you. Dolphin kick is a kick in which the legs move up and down together with the knees bent on the upswing.
There's people who care where I'm going, and good friends who welcome me home. So get a full tank of freedom, drive the American road. And with a full tank of freedom, find your own highway. We'll take you wherever you go. Take you wherever you go.
All right, so excited to have Clay Parnell from Lake Brantley High School. Welcome to the show, Clay.
Thanks, Joe. Glad
Great
to be
stuff.
here.
And Clay, we're just going to start off this the show real quick and talk about last year's swim team. I know for the girls
great.
last year, you know, highlight was you had the 400 free relay. You finished 5th. A lot of girls coming back. A lot of youth returning to the team for the next couple of years for your girls.
Yeah, last year, the thing that I was happiest about is that we all did really well. You know what I mean? We didn't have a real high-level group of kids, but we had 3 relays, all of which should have placed in the top 8. One got DQ'd, but would have placed in the top 8 in the girls' meet, and everybody swam well from top to bottom. So I was very happy about that. We lost one of our key girls, but I think we'll still be about equally as strong. And I'm looking forward to a real good season.
One of the top swimmers for you on the girls' side is going to be Madison Murtaugh. Right, last year she finished 7th and 10th in the 200 and 500 free. So
right, and to be honest with you, I'm looking for much better from her. She went through a kind of a plateau period over the last year and a half. This summer she finally kind of got back on track, did best times in every event, was on the zone team, just finished the zone meet out in Mississippi. So I'm hoping that fires her up. We had a good summer of training. So I'm hoping that that's going to kind of propel her to some better swims
Now,
this year.
is she in your group now? Is she on the club side? Is she in your group?
Yeah, she's been in my senior group since high school season last year.
Yeah, that
So,
Murtaugh family's fast, man.
yeah, and you know when somebody moves in there, you have to figure them out a little bit. And I think we went through unfortunately it was high school season, a period where you're kind of feeling them out and seeing what they do and how they train. And I think finally have got it down to know what she needs to be good, and we found that out this summer, and it really worked out well with her.
The whole 13-14 age group is crazy. You know, for girls, I would
Yes, crazy fast.
think. You know,
Depends
and
on
it's just they're up and down with their emotions,
Up
things
and
like
down.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. It's tough coming out of that flag meet, 14 and unders, which
Yeah.
is super fast, to make sure they continue to improve into the senior division.
So it brings them into high school.
Yeah, it does.
So,
It does.
You know, speaking of the whole up and down, let's talk about high school season. You're going to have a young group coming in 2 years they're going to be going out, and then you're going to have a lull coming in as you try. How do you each year trying to compete and always constantly looking back as well, so you have enough depth in there to help support the program?
Well, you don't always have a choice, of course,
Right.
as to who's coming in. It's where you live. It's who happens to be in your program coming up in your club team. Those of us with club teams that basically that come in and man your team. We've got really in the pipeline really boys coming up. We've got a really good group of 13, 14 boys that I'm looking forward to. We also, of course, have girls, but in the future, for the next several years, we're going to be adding some really talented ninth graders coming in that are in our club team. Unfortunately, a lot of them are going to other schools. We seem to be the supplier to everyone else at our own expense, I guess. But we've got kids going to Apopka, Wekiva, Seminole, Lake Mary, Lyman,
Lake Highland.
Everywhere.
Thank you for that.
A nice little area.
I would appreciate like a
plug there.
gift card at the end of the season from everyone. Well, it only takes 10 years to get them there. But I'm glad
everybody
you
helps each other out.
Yes.
We
So
send some out into the world as well.
Yes. I haven't seen you send any our way, but maybe one day. Okay.
We loaned you one.
But I appreciate the thought.
Okay.
But it's tough. It's tough to get kids, from swim lessons to a summer swim league and then into our program, and then you're just hoping they live in your district, and can give you a really great high school program.
Clay, you've dominated that process. I mean, how many state titles have you won?
Well, we've won a lot, but it's been a while. I'm going to be honest with you. It's been a while, but we've got like 6 girls and 1 boy. State championship, but it's been a while, and I would love to get back there just like anyone else would. But again, it's where do they live? Do they go to your school? And several years ago, one of our main neighborhoods was rezoned to another school, so we lost those kids that would be coming to Lake Brantley. But we've been working very hard, to be honest with you, with a summer league program of 250 to 350 kids.
Wow, that's a lot, man.
Every summer. Hoping that that's going to bring the kids into Lake Brantley. We have a nice swim lesson program, so we've got start to finish to bring them up. It's just a matter of keeping them in the sport, as you know, keeping them happy, keeping them interested, bringing them along, and hoping they live in your school zone.
I also understand. Yeah, speaking of that, getting kids ready for other high school programs. Lost this young swimmer, good Parnell, I believe his name was, that was not in your district.
No, these Parnell boys, of which there are, I believe, 4 of them.
Well, hold that thought. Hold that thought. We're going to talk about the Parnell boys. Dave's going to send us on to an interview real quick.
Right now, I had a chance to sit down and talk with Highlander Aquatics, Ty Segrest, and here's what he had to say. Ty, thank you very much for joining us. Can you tell me a little bit about your swimming career?
Started swimming in Lafayette, Louisiana, and got to be was 3rd in the state as a 9-year-old, so I thought I was hot stuff. And
wow!
Had a coach come in when I was 11 and put us through some major yardage. We were going 20,000 a day when I was 11 for a little while, and I got decent and could train with just about anybody after that. And so I just fell in love with the training and swam at LSU, and was the team captain, but was not a great swimmer, but an okay swimmer. Would go to nationals, but never placed at nationals or anything. So just enjoyed swimming, loved training, and have stayed around swimming ever since.
What was a moment, and I'm going to stay with your age group in high school before we get into college. What was a moment that really stands out in your mind about, wow, this is a great event?
Like as far as a meet or as?
Yeah, meet, particular meet.
As a meet. Just getting to travel, going to Memphis or to University of Alabama for the meets there. Back then they didn't even have their new aquatics center. It was just an old 8-lane pool, but they had these stud swimmers there with Don Gambrell, and it was just kind of cool to go see where they swim and watch them swim, and to get to those, get to know some of the history of the sport.
What or who motivates you?
My kids.
Ty, thank you very much. Good luck.
Right. Appreciate it. Thanks.
I'd like to thank Highlander Aquatics coach Ty Segrest for taking time for the interview. And if you want to catch all the interview, you can see that on Florida Swim Network.
Now it brings us to the time of the show when we ask Sid a question. We go all over the decks of Florida and have parents ask Sid a question. So let's see what he has to say.
Hi, it's Ken. Just have a question for Sid. Why do they make swimming so competitive for 8, 9, 10-year-olds when it should only be for fun?
Ken, that is an excellent question. Me, I'm a big believer in fun, just like you. 8-year-olds, 9-year-olds, no doubt. You want it to be fun. I'm not sure who they are. I know in our program, we have a big emphasis that once they are really just getting involved in the sport, that we keep it fun, but we like to compete. So there is a place. USA Swimming's taken away a lot of that emphasis. I know that in most of our programs around Florida, you'll have that kind of thinking where the coaches don't put too much emphasis on it. So my suggestion is make sure you're in the right program and keep it fun. You're on the right track.
Hi everybody, I'm Dr. Brad Burkhart with Atlanta Orthopedics here again with your Healthy Minute. Today we're going to talk about the knees. And the knees are a very, very common joint to injure, especially in swimmers, runners, people who are doing the types of activities you guys are doing where you're flipping against the wall 500 times a day, pushing all that water, and you start getting pain in the front of the knee. Sometimes the pain can be above the kneecap, and sometimes it could be below the kneecap. The knee is a very tough joint, and it's a hinge, okay? And the quadriceps muscle comes down and attaches to the kneecap, and then that little patella tendon attaches to your tibia, and that is providing all the force from your big, strong quadriceps muscles, pushing on those two smaller tendons. If that becomes inflamed, it can become very painful, and then every time you do a deep squat, or every time you do a flip turn, or every time you run, you can have pain in the front part of the knee. The treatment for this is anti-inflammatory medications and ice. Sometimes it's rest, and sometimes you have to modify your activities. Sometimes when people have multiple weeks and months of repetitive swimming, running, those things start to add up and your body just needs some time to recover.
Hey fans, Swimmer Joe here. Need your swim fix? Have you been to our website, floridaswimnetwork.com yet? We have many pages with all the water sports for you to look at. You can also send us results, photos, and stories to info@floridaswimnetwork.com.
Remember the feeling? New goggles, a new cap. When you support the USA Swimming Foundation, you provide a gift that won't fit in a box. A gift that helps young athletes fuel their competitive dreams. One that provides potential life-saving swim lessons to children. Your gift, it really is impossible to wrap. The USA Swimming Foundation, saving lives and building champions.
Hi guys, I'm here to talk about open water and how I got involved. I started really racing open water back in '76, right after I missed the Olympic team. Ended up as a beach lifeguard in Ocean City, New Jersey. That passion became a real play for me to get involved as a coach. When I was a young coach in the early '80s, I went to my first USA Swimming Convention in Snowbird, Utah. And I found the long distance swimming committee needed some help. I said, well, I love the open water. I'd done a few races in Canada. I did one over in Egypt, and it was a blast. It was more of a fun trip for me. All the races were 25K and above, but we were really working on trying to get more international exposure for the kids. Soon enough, they asked me to be national team coach, and I took a team in 1991 to Perth, Australia. And we won the team championship with 4 swimmers at the World Championships. It was the first time. The only event we had was a 25K. And it was pretty impressive to have 4 athletes, and 3 of them medaled. They all finished in the top 4, and we beat the Australians, which was great for us. And that continued to roll. I came back and really started saying, hey, we got to get into the Olympic Games. And I had a good friend from Australia and a good friend from Fiji. And the 3 of us really started making some noise about it. Finally, USA Swimming said, hey, listen, we don't want you to coach anymore. We want you to move into politics, because if we're going to get into this open water Olympic event, you're going to have to do something outside of just coaching the USA kids. So reluctantly, I turned over the reins of coaching to Rick Walker, who's done a great job through the years. Denny Ryther, Dave Thomas, some of the big names in USA open water history, and I started focusing on the politics. And it took a while. 96, we put a good decade in, but by 2008, we finally got a 10K marathon swim into the Olympic Games. Now, it's the only event we have in the Olympics, but in the World Championships, we actually have a 5K, 10K, 25K, and we even have a 5K team event. So it's pretty exciting for us. And for the first time since 91, just about a month ago, USA won the world title again. So I'm going to talk a little bit about open water during the course of this next couple weeks and try and get to some of the things that I think you all can do to become better open water swimmers.
All right, welcome back to On Deck. And before we left, we were talking about Clay's kids, all 10 or 12 of them, and we just wanted to briefly talk about that. Isn't that right? How many do we have?
I think
over here?
that's right. There are only 4.
Oh, 4?
Yes.
Oh, 4. Okay, well.
They're active. It sometimes seems like it.
But all of them swim? All of them swim?
Well, you know, they all do swim. My oldest one is primarily a basketball player, but he does high school swimming over at Lyman High School. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Didn't
sure
know that.
Sure does.
Again, farming them out again, I see.
Yeah, we want them, you know, we supply everybody. Equal opportunity.
With 4 kids, you could hit 4 high schools in the area there.
We thought about it.
Yeah.
Tony was talking to me about maybe getting some over there at Seminole. Is that a recruiting violation? I don't know.
Now that everybody knows about it, it probably is. Okay.
I take that back. Never happened.
All right, so we got something right now. This is always the fun stuff. We're doing the Parnell's past.
Not Clay Parnell's personal past.
Why not?
No.
Oh, no. Okay.
That's sealed. That's sealed. We cannot cannot dig into that.
Well, so what do we got with Parnell's
Okay,
past?
so we're talking about past Olympic information. Not even Olympic, but swimming information. So here we go. True or false?
Oh,
All right.
we need the paddles. We need the paddles.
The paddles.
We have the true false paddles. Hold on a second. So your camera is right there. You hold the true or false up to that.
True or
camera.
false? All right, here we go. Swimming has been in every modern Olympics since they began in 1896. The first Olympics only had freestyle events, but the next stroke to be added was breaststroke in the 1900s. True or false?
Well,
gosh,
that's a toughie. I know it's been in the Olympics every time. I'll just go with true.
True?
1900s? I guess it's
1900.
true.
1900.
1900. That's a year before you were born, Dave.
Oh, you're hilarious.
I'll be here all week.
Yeah.
That's just fortunate. Eric?
I'm going to go false.
Okay. Eric, congratulations. False. Backstroke
Eric.
was added in 1900. Breaststroke was actually better defined in the 1904 as separate stroke for free. The butterfly was added in 1956.
Holy smokes. What else you got, Dave?
All right, here we go. We're here at Rollins, who has a famous swimmer at the early Olympics. In fact, the student named Rex Beach swam in the 1904 Summer Olympics. True or false?
Rex Beach with a name like that can only be true.
That sounds so true.
Eric?
Very true. Very
All right, true. Actually, true.
So Rollins, but they didn't have this pool then. So it's probably the lake.
I don't think so.
It was probably
They
the lake.
roped off
Lake
the
Virginia
lake
out here,
Yes.
yes.
All right.
He did water polo as an exhibition sport.
Wait a minute. They had water polo back
Water
in 04?
polo.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
was
All
one
right.
of the
What
early
else we got, Dave?
All right, here we go. Many people do not know that in the addition to this numerous inventions like spectacles and the Franklin stove, Ben Franklin was the first to develop fins for swimming. True or false?
Wow.
Well, Ben Franklin invented
Do you know
almost
him?
everything Eric uses in his swim practice. I would go with true
Gosh.
on Ben.
Including the lightning rod.
There you go.
Yes.
There you go, yeah.
Yes. I'm going true as well.
Okay. True. At the ripe old age of 11, Ben Franklin invented a pair of swim fins.
He's way ahead of himself there.
Yes.
He's
definitely.
way ahead.
He probably kicked his way there, right?
Uh,
Fins?
yeah, probably.
All right, here we go. Weather permitting, John Quincy Adams swam, woohoo, in the Potomac River.
What?
Nude. I was trying not to say the word, but thank you very much
didn't
for
know that
calling
was a
more
name for
attention
nude.
in the Potomac River at 5 a.m. every morning during his presidency.
That can't be a warm river either.
That's tough. That's a wake-up swim.
That is.
seriously. Well, I'll go with true.
Gosh.
What the heck?
Well, that's where they take a bath back then. That's how they
That's
did
true.
it, right?
It's either that or sponge off, one way
Yeah.
or another.
True.
That'll do it.
True?
True.
All right.
That'll wake you up.
All right, here we go. Ready for our last one?
Yeah. What do we got?
All right. Swimmers have worn goggles far long into most people realize. In fact, as far back as the 1400s, the Persians wore polished layers of tortoise shells on their eyes when swimming. True or false?
Tortoise, I mean, aren't they big?
shells.
Aren't they big?
A tortoise shell?
Tortoise shell.
They're made by Ray-Ban.
Can you see them? Oh, no, that's the band. Oh, what did you say?
I'm going to go false.
I'm going false.
Actually, true.
True. Oh, that must have kept the air out.
There we go.
All right, let's go on to a swimmer highlight. We have Kaitlyn Brooks up from North Central Florida. Let's take a look at Kaitlyn. So just wanted to thank everybody for joining us, and also thanks Clay Parnell from Lake Brantley for joining us today. Have a great season, man.
Glad to be here. Thanks. Appreciate it.
And we're looking forward to seeing you in Stuart this year.
We'll be there. We'll be there.
Oh,
I'd like to have a lot of people there. Hopefully I'm not by myself.
Oh, I'll be there watching.
Fantastic.
From all of us here at On Deck with Florida Swim Network, we'll see you next time on Deck.